88.1 XFM Tauranga Tech Music Station. Also, another episode of My Time with Marty. I've got a comedian here who's got 1.1 million followers. By the way, he is verified. Say hello to Marvin Howard.
Hello. How's it going? Martin, thank you for having me.
No problem. So what got you started doing comedy?
Well, I don't think as a comedian, I don't think my story goes, strays away differently from any other comedian. Most comedians have been, well, I can only talk about myself. I was, young, fat kid growing up in Chicago, Illinois, and went to a Catholic grammar school, where the kids teased me and this, that, and the other. And we would do something in my era, we used to do a game called The Dozens, where we would, roast each other, talk about each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think what happened with me growing up, I would watch television. I'd watch cartoons and things like that. And what I would do is incorporate what I was watching with the cartoons with the roasting. So, for example, I would say something like, that's why I called your house. And your mother answered the phone. That's why she sounded like Chewbacca when she answered the phone. Hey, may I speak to your son? Oh, he's not there. Okay, tell him I called. And I got known for, doing all these impersonations and things like that. And as I got older, I had friends tell me, like, hey, you should do comedy. Like, why don't you write, some material, to do it. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll see, and I think a year went by and it was some kind of contest, open mic show, contest that they had going on, where I'm from. And I got up there and did my little comedy and I won the contest. Coincidentally, Bernie Mac, late great Bernie Mac, was one of the judges. Now, this tells you how far back it goes. He saw me and he pulled me up on the side and said, let me say something, I do comedy too. You need to come to my show. I swear to God, you're going to have a good time. So he convinced me to do comedy and convinced me to come to his place. And he took me on the road. It kind of like, soared ever since. Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, Bernie Mac impersonation, spot on. What got you started into doing social media then?
Now, that's an interesting question. So as far as me doing stand-up was concerned, I think what happened, I got kind of stagnated with it because during the 90s, or the late 90s, it got to a point for me, if I wasn't going to Hollywood and I wasn't getting these deals, I might as well just, kind of like, kind of keep it where, maybe I'll keep it on the back burner for now. But I love theater. I love acting. I love doing sketch comedy, and improv. Sorry about that. It's been a long day. Doing improv and all these other things. What happened? How did I get started doing social media? I think what happened was, if memory serves me right, I think I twisted my ankle. I twisted my ankle I was doing at some kind of function, and I was just like, kind of just resting up the ankle, and I'd noticed that there was this app called Vine. So I said, you know what? Let me see what Vine is about. And I downloaded it, and it was kind of weird. The 6 seconds thing, it was kind of weird. I didn't understand it or whatever the case might be, but it didn't take me long to pick up on it. But then gradually I started incorporating, kind of my satire comedy, what I was doing, incorporating with, these 6 second Vines. I wasn't doing like what the main guys were doing, like the mainstream content creators were doing. I was kind of just doing my own thing. And I started to grow on it eventually. And then Instagram came along. I think they were on about the same time. I just couldn't get into the grasping the concept of Instagram though. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I think just I'm on it, obviously, but to become a content creator on Instagram, I just haven't went that route. But I started gaining a lot of followers on Vine, and then Vine started to die. But before that, I think that's when I got on Musical.ly. That's when I heard about Musical.ly. That's a lie. There was an app, and I cannot remember the name of the app offhand, but you basically lip synced to, whatever the sounds that they had. And I think I tried it, and I was like, I wasn't really thrilled with it. Now, granted, Martin, I had an Android. This is old school Android. So, Androids did not really work back in the day during these social media Vine and social media Musical.ly and things like that. Oh, Dub Smash. I think that's what it was. I didn't really like Dub Smash. And then a friend of mine said, well, why don't you try Musical.ly? Musical.ly seems like that'd be right up your alley, Marvin. And I'm like, okay, well, let me check it out. And I got on Musical.ly and I loved it. Unfortunately, me having an Android, it wasn't gelling. And, I started looking like a kung fu movie. Like my mouth would be moving, but the sound was, they was doing that stuff. And I was so upset about it. So I would, I wouldn't delete the app, but I would, I'd stay off of it. But every now and then I'd go back and I'd check it out. And I want to see well, what else can I do? And then some of the Androids over the years started getting a little bit better. I go back to it, and my muse, my good friend Devon, who's the content creator on TikTok. Back then, it was still Musical.ly. I pulled him to the side, and I said, "Look, he said, dude, you're funny." I said, "Dude, you're funny," and he's like, I said, well, what do I need to do to enhance my comedy? Like, what do I need to do? He said, first off, you need to get off that Android. You need to invest in getting an iPhone. And finding out, once I got that iPhone, all my numbers soared. It was crazy. It was bananas how far I had come across. Because I do editing. I do pretty good editing. I got that from being on Vine, because there was so many great editors back then that I learned how to get these apps to be able to, do very good editing for my videos. So once I incorporated that, it was crazy from there. I hope that answered your question.
It's no problem. So we both are comedians. We both do impressions. So if you could pick a comedian that has kind of been an icon for you, of course, mine has to be the legend Jim Carrey. Ace Ventura, all of his comedy stuff. I try and be like Jim Carrey every single day with my wakiness, with my impressions. If you could pick someone who could be that icon, who would it be?
My gosh. Well, it's funny that you brought up Jim Carrey. I actually auditioned for In Living Color many years ago. I auditioned for In Living Color. Now, granted, when I auditioned, Jim Carrey left, the Wayans had left. Jamie Foxx was still there. Takia Crystal Keyman was there. In fact, Takia Crystal Keyman and I wound up being very good friends over the years. For those that don't know, she later played Raven's mother on That's So Raven. So if you all go back and see That's So Raven, that's Takia Crystal Keyman. I auditioned for it, and I looked and was hoping and praying. Now, remember, this is before social media. So the idea of knowing whether or not Jim Carrey was going to be there or not was kind of up in the air, but he obviously wasn't there. I had a call back in LA, And then that's when the show was canceled, unfortunately. So that's as close as I've gotten to being in the footsteps of some of the greats, like you being, you saying about Jim Carrey. But I digress. Oh my gosh. But I can't pinpoint one. Richard Pryor was a genius. George Carlin, a genius. Eddie Murphy. I think of anybody who I've kind of emulated, and I think any other Black comedian in my era would say it was probably Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy was the person the go-to person. Like I knew and could recite every last joke he ever did on stage, on record or on video or stuff like that. So yeah, Eddie Murphy would be that person.
Like someone actually interviewed me for their podcast, and they were asking if I could interview anyone in the world, who would it be? And I said Jim Carrey, and they were like, what would be your emotion if Jim Carrey was to get in contact with you? And I was like, first, I would cry. Second, I'd have to clean my underwear. And third, I'd be going, if this is a scam, I'm going to be so devastated. And I think, like, even just talking to you, like, you're verified, you're a comedian, and just talking to you is a privilege. And also being able to, like, talk to all these different people, from, like, people that are famous here in New Zealand, people that are in Ireland. I think I've got the best job ever. But of course, being a comedian is just a little bit up there.
It is. I think we're not, well, I've been around the entertainment business for quite some time. I mean, everyone knows it. All you have to do is sing. If you're a singer and you have the look, that's the go-to. But then there's other forms of entertainment where we're treated like rock stars as comedians are concerned. It's gotten to a point now where, who's a latter day comedian, Dave Chappelle, who I think is a genius. I don't know. I don't know a single solitary comedian who can be that quick-witted on their feet and just be hilarious, naturally funny. Dave Chappelle is definitely that person. I told you, it's hard for me to pinpoint who I like the best, but when I was coming up, though, Dave Chappelle was still new in the game. So never got to meet him. I've seen him on stage. I was at the same locations that he was at doing comedy, especially in LA at the Comedy Store. And I saw him at Zanies. I forgot about that. I saw him at Zanies. I saw Robin Williams at Zanies. Didn't get to meet him either. I think for me, it's just like what you just said about Jim Carrey, is that I was starstruck, but I was a little nervous to go up to, some of these heavy hitters and say anything. Well, like I said, Dave Chappelle wasn't huge yet, but he was funny. He was hilarious, but the idea of having that stardom, having that superstar status, where it's just as, like being a rock star or singer or whatever you want to call it. I think the problem that I see is that it's just comedy, and I think there's room at the top for everyone. But I don't think that's the only thing that's omitted for me, is that I don't think comedians should be treated as rock stars. I think it's a whole different realm. It's a whole different world than music.
Yeah.
To me, music I understand, not comedy.
So you were talking about nerves. How do you deal with nerves before going on stage and performing in front of a crowd?
Well, the old school philosophy was to believe that the more you drink, the funnier I am. That's the philosophy. And you hold on to that. You do
Yeah.
hold on to that because you do want people to be able. Alcohol does loosen, the nerves. It loosens up the people. I don't really do the drinking before the show or stuff like that, because the problem with me is that I don't drink. So having a drink is going to make me a little bit more loopy than it would to help me. I don't do the liquid courage. I just been doing this for so long that I'm taking a page out of Michael Jackson, where he stated it in many different interviews that the stage is where he was most comfortable. And that's, for me, I believe that, because I became more comfortable with being on stage than my everyday life. But I wasn't a different person, though. I'm the same Marvin Howard off stage than I am on stage. I'm not shy, but I did get diagnosed with PTSD, and I do have a phobia about crowds. I don't like being like when I get off stage and there's so many people that want to say, "Hey, how you doing? Congratulations." They want to shake your hands. They want to take pictures. When it starts getting a little too crowded for me, I do start to get, a little tense, a little hyperventilating and stuff like that. I don't deal with crowds very often. So that's the only thing. But on stage, I'm so comfortable. I'm chill.
Yeah, it's kind of the same for me. Like before I started performing like in front of crowds, I would always like be really anxious. Then I'd jump on a stage and it would all disintegrate.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, when I was in front of a crowd, it was like, okay, just remember you're by yourself, or picture everyone being naked, but doing that is really bad. So just imagine like it's just you, you're inside your room, you've got a freaking V bottle as a microphone just performing. And I try to incorporate different things, like I do magic, I do my voice impressions, I get people up on stage to like take part of it. And how do you deal with like if a joke goes bad? Because like I've had times, this is like a comedian's worst nightmare. Like I would pull a joke and all you hear is freaking cricket noises.
And I'll tell you, I've never, in the history of me doing stand-up, I've never been booed. I have not been booed one time. Has it gotten a joke that didn't go across well? Of course. Especially, but see, now what I've learned in my experience as a comedian is that when you write down what you want to do, and you might have a joke that you want to incorporate into your act. A lot of comedians, a lot of people that that are not comedians don't realize that I'll have a set act. Like I can go to New Zealand and do my act, and then I can go to the UK and do that same act, because the people in UK have not seen me in New Zealand. So it's a set act. Now, as a comedian, what we do though, what we like to do, we don't like to use the same routine. What we'll do is we'll implement a new joke. And how do we introduce that new joke? Well, if you go to an open, let's say I do the New Zealand show, and then I have time in between before the UK show, I go to an open mic, and then an open mic show, and I will incorporate that new joke. And if it comes across, pretty good, then I'll add it to the repertoire, and then I'll do the thing in the UK. Now, that's not necessarily saying that if somebody in New Zealand, the open mic in New Zealand, they thought it was funny, doesn't mean the UK is going to think it's funny. But it's happened. I'll go and I'll do a show, and I'll open it up. I'll do my regular open up, and then I'll implement this joke, and it doesn't go. Because I'm so quick with it, and because I did improv comedy as well. And I tell any comedian, if you want to learn how to become a good comedian on stage, take improv classes because they will enhance your comedy. So I've had a joke that didn't go across, and I have done this, like, you wait it and I go, hello, hello, and then I'll even add the sound, I'll even admit it, like, oh, well, that didn't work. Let me write that one off the list. Or I'll go, and then they know, because I've gotten the crowd back again because they realize I'm human. The joke wasn't funny. I admit the joke wasn't funny, But some comedians don't take it like that. There's some comedians have got, let's talk about the infamous Michael Richards fiasco, where his stuff wasn't working, and he decided to, racially talk about Black people that were in the audience, Yeah, some people do that. They freak out and they melt on stage, They have a meltdown.
Yeah. So obviously there's different styles of humor. There's dark humor, there's slap jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever watched a show and you have found a joke to be a bit too harsh or a bit too dark?
My stuff or somebody else's?
Someone else's.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, there's when I left Chicago, I moved after my mom passed in 2007, and moved to Minnesota. And Minnesota has an array of many different comedians that that are either up and coming or open mic, whatever the case might be. But I found in my venture that a lot of the younger comedians, we all do this. We all emulate who we love. You do Jim Carrey, me, Eddie Murphy. These guys did Dane Cook, and Dane Cook for me is not. I've seen a couple of his stand-up shows. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Dane Cook. There's nothing Dane Cook has ever said that made me just rip-roaring laugh out loud. I think a lot of his stuff is offensive or racy, or as we call it, blue comedy. And blue comedy is, basically when you start talking about body parts and things like that, and you can hear in every comedian that would go to these open mic shows emulate Dane Cook. There was literally, Martin, years ago when I moved to Minnesota, I had a war between myself and Minnesota comics because of the things that I was saying on Facebook, which they didn't agree with. But I stuck my guns. I'm not going to, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Your comedy sucks because you do, excuse the French, dick and pussy jokes. I don't do DMP jokes. I don't. It's not me. I'm not experienced in sex enough for me, even at my age, for me to be able to do DMP jokes. I wasn't like that. I wasn't out there. Same way I would never do jokes about basketball because I didn't play basketball. So, I sucked at basketball. So my comedy jokes about doing basketball would be 3 or 4 minutes, and that'd be it. The race, I don't have a problem with anybody doing whatever kind of comedy that you're going to do. Whatever the categories or whatever the genre is, go for it, do it. Just know the problem is you're going to limit yourself to your audience. So if you do comedy where everybody else appreciates racy comedy, which is like a demographic of, 20, maybe the 30-year-olds, what happens if you get hired to do a show between 40, 50, 60-year-olds, or what if there's a comedy show where, Now you're the old head. And now you've got these younger guys who are like 18, 19, 21. They're not going to get it. They're not going to understand.
No.
So, yeah.
So, what is the big dream for you?
My big dream. Wow. Believe it or not, Martin, I have gotten to a point in my age, I'm 52. I did leave the house, move to LA, had roommates, and we went out and auditioned for this show, auditioned for that show. I did all that. Mm-hmm. Realistically, I'm not looking at to be a huge star. What I do want though, what I see is myself eventually having an open mic show. Well, not an open mic, but having a set show where I have 3 comedians. I'll have a guy that opens the show. I have a guy that, headline middles, is the middleman, and I'll have a guy who headlines. And I think that would be what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Between that and actually voiceovers. Voiceovers is where I'm really like, I need to get there. I need to get there fast. And that voiceovers is so lucrative. It's a lucrative business where it's not just commercials. It's not just, I'm gonna be honest. If you can get into DC or Warner Brothers or Disney and doing voiceovers, you're set. Mm-hmm. You're literally set. I want to be the guy that does the movie things, though. I like to, I met the guy many years ago. He passed away now. I can't remember his name. We went to the studio in LA and we saw him. Like literally, he had on a crushed velvet like robe and he had a mimosa. Came out the limousine and he literally did this one voiceover promo for this movie. There are 1,500 volcanoes that we know about, and there's at least one that we don't. Welcome to Los Angeles. Volcano, rated R. Check local listings for a theater near you. I can do that. I can do that. I'd love to do that. And that just gave me chills just doing that impersonation just then. You'll meet somebody who can do Scooby. You can meet somebody, or you'll meet somebody to do Shaggy. Mm-hmm. But zoinks! Like you'll never meet someone who can do both, right, Scoob? Yeah. Oh, if I can get into cartoons. Oh, if I can get into cartoons to this day, it would be amazing. It'd be absolutely amazing. What about you? What do you want to do?
I want to have my own talk show. So I want also. I can see that. I also want Mike Times Marty to be worldwide. And you were talking about not meeting someone that can do both Shaggy and Scooby and also the action movie trailer voice. So can I.
Yes. See? I'm telling you.
Like, I think the one that got me to do the movie trailer voice was Fast and Furious. Like, in a world, Jason Statham. And they're like, whoa. And then, of course, growing up, watching cartoons like Zoink, Scoob, Row Raggy, and having all those.
See, you've got the chill Scooby and Shaggy. I get the one where when they're doing their regular talking or they want to go eat, and go grub on, they're not excited. They're more mellow. I do the ones when they go, I get to that excited part of Scooby and Shaggy. But that's great though. Yeah.
My favorite line is, "Where's the Scooby snacks?" So what was the first ever impression you could do? Like mine was Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. And then I've moved on to doing Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Darth Vader. What was the first ever voice impression that you could do?
I remember my mom telling me that she would watch, they put me in front of the TV, me and my brother. My brother is 2 years under me, and we would watch cartoons, whatever. Honestly, I think my mom told me this a long time ago. She said, you know what? I knew you could do all those impersonations because we used to watch, she would tell me, what is that show with the guy who drives the car and he's got all the buttons on? I said, Speed Racer. And she said, yeah, you can, for some reason, I was able to do Speed Racer. But I guess it was when he would always like run, like he was running into danger. Oh, I just used to do that little voice there. But I think for my memory, it was probably Popeye. Popeye was one that, I think that's when I really started, like, that was the one I remember. And then Michael Jackson. Hello, how are you? I'm Michael Jackson. Thank you very much. I love you. I love your show, Martin. It's great. It's great. Yeah, I think that's where
Wow.
I think Michael Jackson was the first one.
Yeah. My dad actually was like, because he grew up watching Looney Tunes. So he's like, can you please do like Porky Pig or Bugs Bunny? He showed me a 5-second clip of Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig, and I was able to do it instantly. Like, that's all, folks.
Oh, folks, yeah.
He's like, hey, what's up, Dad? And he's like,
that is great, yo.
The frick? And then my mum, she's got a tattoo of the Tasmanian devil. I was like, like trying to do that one. And for some reason, I sounded like Donald Duck.
It's funny. I think those are usually the I'm trying to look for the word. What would it be? That's usually the templates, the templates of, if you're truly trying to do these impersonations, you have to do, Donald Duck, you have to do Daffy, you have the Bugs and
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey. Hi. Yeah, I think everybody would do some type of Mickey Mouse. I think Mickey Mouse is probably the earliest ones. I forgot about Mickey.
Yeah.
Mickey and Goofy. Yeah. Gosh. All those different things. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, and then you would excel into doing like you said, you doing. I tried to do an Obama. I really can't do one. I think later on for me, it was like people would say, well, wait a minute. So Eddie Murphy is your favorite. Can you do Eddie Murphy? Well, I can only do his laugh. That's all I can do. I couldn't really do. Now I can do his characters, like one of his characters, like from one of the movies, like the professor, the Clump. Oh, that's my baby Sherman. Oh, I love Sherman. I can do that, or yes, I can. I can do all that stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same for me. Like I can do obviously like, oh, Sherman. And then of course Jim Carrey with his Ace Ventura, like, oh, righty then, your number's 291. And then there's the Grinch. Yes, the Grinch I stole Christmas, 4:00. Well, it was so pretty. And then he came along doing like Liar Liar, like the pen is blue, the goddamn pen is blue, and then just keep going on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a voice impression that you've done that kind of sounds like another one? Like for me, I can do Stewie Griffin and Mr. Burns and Mr. Crockham from Fairly Odd Parents. They all sound the same. Is there one for you?
Gosh. And I'm trying to remember who it was, who I sounded like, but it sounded like somebody else. I'll tell you what, Ernie from Sesame Street. Bert, come here, Bert. Bert and Kermit the Frog.
Hi ho,
sound
Kermit
exactly.
Frog here.
I don't know why it just sounded as hi home. This is Kermit the Frog because you're doing the same. You're getting that. I can't explain it. And people ask me how do I do these things.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to explain it, but for me to get that pitch that I remember, Ernie and Kermit have that same pitch, so it's easy for me to kind of get confused, or people get confused saying, oh no, that sounded like Kermit the Frog to me, Yeah. So that's the only ones I see.
Yeah. So like when I do storygraphy, like, ew, Brian doing some cool flip. And then Mr. Burns, ew, Smithers, go get my bubble bath. And then Mr. Crocker, ew, Timmy Turner, fairies. All three of them sound the exact same. But with Stewie, I've got to pitch it up a little bit. And also, it's the same with Winnie the Pooh and Donald Trump. It's like, oh, I want some honey. Oh, we're going to be the one. It's going to be amazing. So.
I don't think anybody has ever made that correlation between Winnie the Pooh and Donald Trump. That's amazing.
Oh, no, that's one lady. I ended up doing a half an hour set, and it was me basically going from my first ever impression, bringing the voice a little bit higher, doing another one, bringing it lower, or like in the same genre. And she's like, at the end, did you know that your Winnie the Pooh sound like Donald Trump? I'm like, are you being serious? It's like, are you a Karen? Are you trying to play with me? Like, come on.
Wow.
And
that's wild. Have you do you now is another part of your dream to eventually is it, for you are you thinking to yourself, or have been told or been asked or in discussion about possibly coming to the States? Like, do you see yourself eventually having to move to the United States?
Yes,
to get what you need to get?
Yeah, one thing I have been trying to do is I've been trying to get money to be able to come to the States, because that's where most like actors, comedians and stuff go. I think right now, because the only real comedian I can think of that's from New Zealand that made it was Billy T. James, who's like a New Zealand staple for us.
I've heard of him. I don't know if I've seen his comedy, but I know who he is.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with it.
So I think I'm wanting to make it big in New Zealand and then come along to the States. But yes, coming to the States and I don't know, popping a Barack Obama. Oh, whoa, my fellow Americans. Like popping an American accent would get me up there.
I think you would. You know what? And this has been done, in the States over and over again. I'll give an example of Madonna. Madonna career soared when she went solo and she hung out with all these Black producers who put her on. And when you heard her sound, everyone just assumed that this was a Black chick. Until they saw her and was like, whoa, she's white. I don't think there's anything wrong with that in making that into that market. Pink did the same thing, the singer Pink, where she went straight R&B. That's what she did. And when she started, she was doing R&B. And then she started doing the type of music she wanted to do. And I'm saying this to say that for you to do Barack Obama, and not be shown, your face is not shown until later, and realize that, yo, that is hilarious. Bro. Who is that person? And they say Martin, we're just gonna assume it's a brother until we see this blonde hair guy with this New Zealand accent, yo, that's a good, nice little market. I'm telling you, that's a nice little marketing package right there. Just letting you know.
Well, what I do is I go on Omegle, which is kind of like Skype or Zoom, and I do my voice impressions. And what I would do is I would like step out and be going, "Hey, Vato, you want some Modelo?" And they'd be going, "Whoa!" And
then coming to the camera.
He's like, how's it going? Hey, vato, I'm a white boy. Hey, ¿qué pasa? So they're like, whoa, okay. And there'd be some guys that are thinking like, oh, he's got a voice changer, stuff like that. So I'd take off my headphones and be going, hey, vato, you think I got a voice changer? Oh, no, I don't have a voice changer. I just sound like Peter Griffin sometimes. So
So do you have, is this a series that you have of?
I do have a character that I've actually come up with. His name is Dr. Cromwell, who is from Kensington, London. He's trying to get hype with all the kids. So he'd go, like, oh, hello, my boy. Like, what is your name? And like they'd be going like, oh, yo, what's up? I'm like, excuse me, what is you? Or someone would be, oh no, there was one girl, and she was trying to do like WAP. And I was like, what is WAP? Like, is that? And they'd be going like, oh, it's waffles and pancakes, worship and prayer. I'd be like, oh my God, that is just fascinating. Tell me more.
Wow.
So,
wow. Yo, I tell you, this, but as a comedian, fellow comedian, this life is not, this is, like as I tell them, it's not a luxurious life as everybody, pans it out to be. Some comedians are living out of, their suitcases and, they sometimes, don't have enough to, for flights. So they take Greyhound buses, back and forth to where they go, where they get literally, just sick, of, just makes you want to quit. It makes you want to just like, dude, is this all worth it? Sometimes you get shows where, the call of demand of how much their overhead, and then you're stuck with taking a bite out of, of the pay, and we talked about this, off, before this interview. Like I was just homeless, I had been homeless for months. My wife and I did not work out. December 23rd, 2020 is when I became homeless. And, I wound up moving from Minnesota, and I wound up coming here to Houston, Texas to get because I'm a veteran, combat veteran for Desert Storm. I wound up getting my disability benefits, and finally got my own place, which was just about 2 weeks ago. I don't have much. I don't have nothing, but a bed right now. And I shelved out, over $1,500 in order to get it. There was supposed to be some veteran stuff, benefit stuff that was supposed to happen, but it wasn't supposed to happen for this place. It was supposed to happen for another place that I was trying to get into. And I make too much money. I don't see it, but I make too much money. I'll start seeing it now, because now that I'm here, now it's going to be a lot easier to, balance my, my money. Not to mention that I also obtained a job working for the VA, which I start Monday. So this still gives me enough time. Like that's a 7 o'clock in the morning job to 4. And, as long as I tell them, ahead of, weeks ahead of time, like, hey, I'm going to go out of town and do a show, or, eventually what I see out of here, which I'm one day hoping, like, somebody from New Zealand says, hey, you know what? Hey, I like that black guy you on an interview with. I want to hire him. Who knows? Who knows? Sam Neill is from New Zealand. So that's one of my favorites. He is my favorite. He is one of my favorite actors. So, yeah, sky's the limit.
So if I was to create a comedy show, if I was to ask you to come to New Zealand and do like a hour set, would you do it?
Absolutely. 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 I would even go as far as letting you know that as a disabled veteran now, I have we get like perks, and one of the perks that we have is flight. Like if I don't know how much it would, I don't know how much it would be to fly to New Zealand, but normally for an American to fly to New Zealand, whatever that price is for an irregular American to go compared to a disabled veteran, it's probably a lot cheaper. I would almost say it's a lot cheaper. Now, if I had still been in the military, it would only cost me $5. Yeah, it would cost $5. A lot of people don't know this. We have something called in the military. We have something called MAC flights, and no, it wouldn't be $5. It would be about 10. It'd be about $10 to $20, but it's still that's nothing. But we have something called MAC flights. So what it is, basically what it is that if you can hop a flight to wherever, I don't know, I'm throwing this out here. I don't think this is ever true though, but let's say if you were to fly to the UK and if the UK had flights to go to New Zealand, that's how you hop that flight as a military personnel. So yeah. Now I can't do that now because I'm out of the military, but I do have those discounts. But yes, absolutely. I'll figure out the flight. You figure out the stay, the pay, the food, and transportation. I got you.
So if it came to you and one of your favorite comedians to do a show, who would it be? Like, who would be your dream collab to do a comedy show with?
Oh, wow.
Like, of course, mine's Jim Carrey. Like, 100%.
Yours would be Jim Carrey.
Or Gabriel Iglesias.
I would love, Fluffy.
Yeah.
I would love to do a show with Fluffy. But, realistically, I think I wouldn't say Eddie Murphy. And the reason I wouldn't say Eddie Murphy, because one, it's too easy to say. I would love to do a show with Dave Chappelle, because I think, honestly, he would allow me to do that show and let me perform. And just the idea of the audience going, you know what? I don't think the audience would go, who's that? Who's the guy that's opening up Marvin Howard? Who's that? I don't think it would be like that. I think it would be more or less like if the marquee or if the way that it was marketed to say Marvin Howard from, TikTok, TikTok fame, Marvin Howard. If they said that, then I think people would, be okay with it. Along with Dave Chappelle, oh my God, that'd be crazy, So Dave Chappelle, would be the person I'd love to tour with. I'd love to open up for him.
All right, Marvin, are you ready to play a game?
Absolutely.
Okay, so do you want to do music, acting, or improv?
Music, acting, or improv?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow. Let's do acting.
Acting. Okay, so this game is called Expressions, where I give you an emotion like happy, sad, angry, and a scenario, and you have to act out that scenario with that with that emotion.
Okay.
So we'll go backwards and forwards. So your first one would be you're at the movie theater and you order popcorn, but it's too salty. Your emotion is it's going upset. So you are upset that your popcorn is too salty.
Okay. No. I love this place. You have been so generous for numbers of years for having me come here. Why is this popcorn salty? Why is this popcorn salty? What are you doing to me? Do you know I can get high blood pressure as a Black man? Do you know high blood pressure runs so high as a Black man? Why is it salty? Why?
And the Oscar goes to? What's one for me?
Okay, let's see. You just met up with a fan after a show and they wanted you to sign an autograph and the pen is not working. So you're upset.
Okay. This is an alcoholic beverage or something. Gotta have props, why not? All right. Oh, hey. Oh, you enjoyed the show? Oh, I'm glad. I'm gonna sign something. Okay, cool. What's your name? Hold on. Does someone have a hey, Betty, do you have a bit of no? Okay. Oh, cool, sweet. Betty, this pen isn't even working. How am I supposed to give someone an autograph if the pen's not working? Okay. I don't know. Here, we'll take a photo instead. Selfie. Yeah.
Bravo.
Thank you. Okay. Let's go. All right. You are auditioning for a movie. And you have to do a sex scene. Why not?
Sex scene, okay.
Yep, but your emotion is confused. So you are confused why you have to audition for a movie, but it has to be a sex scene.
Okay. All right. All righty. This is a very good script. I'm really feeling the script. Yeah. I'm sorry, what? You want me to do it in the style of what? Why would I have to take my shirt off? It's in an elevator. Wait a minute, it doesn't say that at all. It says, no, it doesn't say that at all. It says, for me to come in an elevator, come into an elevator. Wow. I didn't realize that. Well, I mean, hey, am I getting, how much more am I getting? Because I didn't understand that now my fee is a little bit more expensive now because you want me to take my shirt off. No, I don't have a problem doing it. No, it's, I would like to get paid a cut, accordingly, because if I whip this out, I'm Black, I whip this out, half the studio will get dark and we just end scene.
Awesome. All right, last one for me, and then I'm gonna hit you with a plot twist. Dun dun.
Okay.
Dun.
All right. Let's see. Okay. You are in the green screen. You're in the green room, waiting to go on stage, and you've been munching on some gummies or something like that, and found out that it was actually a fellow comedians who they're really laced with THC.
Oh, okay. And what's my emotion?
Happy, very, very happy.
Okay. One sec.
All right, cool.
All right. Double stuffed Oreos. Why not?
Hey, yeah, I love those. Those are my favorites.
I actually just found these at a local supermarket, and I was like, wait, New Zealand actually has stuff from America? Sweet. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, cool. All right, what time am I on? Okay, I'm on in 5 minutes. Okay. All right, I'm getting kind of hungry. Right. Yeah, I've got everything sorted. No, Biddy, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just gonna have something to eat. I'm just gonna have something to eat. Like, seriously, it's fine. Okay. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's really good. Whoa. Like, have you tried one of these? Okay. It's all right. It's all right. Oh. Okay. Hey, Alex. What the hell's in these Oreos? The THC. Okay. No, it's fine. I'm just performing in front of thousands of people, and you just lace me with drugs. Yeah, it's great. Oh, okay. Hello, everyone.
And see.
Yeah.
That's great.
Hell yeah.
That's
Okay.
great. Okay.
Plot twist. Dun dun
Okay.
dun. I've got a timer on my phone, so I'm going to give you a minute to do as many voice impressions and accents as you can do.
Oh.
Don't worry, I will do the same.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Let me know if you're ready.
Okay, hold on. All right. All right, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Let me tell you something. This is Bernie Mac. What I'm trying to say. Please look, it's gonna be trouble.
Cool. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Billy Jean is not my dove. Ooh, she's just a girl who claims that I am the.
Luke, you don't understand the power of the Force. No, Luke, I am your father.
Hey, Brian. You got my money?
Well, I'll pay you next Thursday, bro.
Oh, but I could have sworn I said pay me today.
There'll
be food around the corner. Food around the corner. Food around the corner for me.
Zoinks! What, Scoob? Where are you? Oh, over here. Ooh.
Awesome. Okay. I'm going to have to top that off. All right. Here we go.
Yeah, right.
3, 2, 1. My fellow Americans, we're going to be a while. My fellow Americans. Hello, my name is Matthew McConaughey. You look like the 4th of July. Just a farce world. Luke, I am your father. Hey, Story, hooray. Yes, hello, fat man. Smithers. Hello, welcome to Quick and Butt. Are you gonna finish that croissant? Hey, what's up, Dad? That's all, folks. Hey, what do you got some Modelo? You shall not pass. This is the part where the people meet. Alrighty then. Hey, it's Grinch all Christmas. Sherman. Homie, are you enough donuts again? Ooh, Brian, I want some cool whip. Donuts.
And time.
I almost forgot some of them.
That was great.
I was like, donuts. Is there anything they can't do?
Donuts. It's actually pretty awesome. Speaking of which.
Don't tell me you have donuts.
Yes, I'm not gonna tell you. Show you. Donuts.
What?
Yes.
Send me one right now.
Okay, you know what? I gotta do something here. You got Oreos. I don't even have those.
Well,
and I'm from America.
I've got a whole box of stuff, so I think I'm
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I've always wanted to do that too. Like get like American, send American sweets out to somebody from another country, and they send me theirs.
Yeah.
Actually, I did do that. I'm sorry. I did that with a young lady from the UK, and she sent me some really good stuff. Some of the stuff wasn't really all that great, but some of it was really good too. Yeah.
Like I actually did a series on my TikTok where I tried different stuff from America, from Ireland. I tried Iron Brew, Laffy Taffy, Nerds, Frosted Flakes, and even stuff from like Mexico. And I made a whole video about it. And literally, I would inject myself with Iron Brew. It's just that good.
What?
It's that good. Also, what's it called? Oh, damn it. I think it's like some kind of like Rocky Road type of
Ice cream?
I think so. It
Was
might
it
be
Rocky
that.
Road ice cream?
Might
No,
have
it couldn't
been.
have been Rocky Road ice cream. You didn't get that from America because that would have melted.
No, it was like because there's a store just down the road from me where they sell all this stuff. What was it called? Nerds.
Oh, yeah.
Nerds, like
Willy Wonka nerds.
big strings. Those, oh my god. I went to heaven.
Do you have sweet tarts? Do you have sweet tarts there?
We call them Pop Tarts.
Okay, well, Pop Tarts are is the pastry, is the thing you put in the toaster.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet tarts are these little candies. They're very similar to Nerds, but they look like, if you looked at them, they look like pills. Like they look like they're like a pill, like an aspirin, but it's in the shape of an aspirin. I'm gonna have to, you know what? I'm gonna have to do that for you. I'm gonna send you some sweet tarts. We're gonna have to do that. I'm gonna send you some sweet tarts. I am going to do that. Once I get paid on the first, I'm gonna find sweet tarts. I'm gonna send it to you.
All right, and I'll send you some Marmite.
Yeah, absolutely. I want that. I want to try that.
How about we just do that? We'll send each other a box of. I'll send you some stuff from New Zealand, and you can send me some more stuff from America.
That is a deal, my friend. We can do that.
Yes. Okay.
And then Zoom it. Then we're gonna have to Zoom it.
Yes, we are.
Well, no, we'll do. Well, how do you want to do that? Do you want to do a TikTok of those? I think a TikTok would be better.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a duo live, and we'll make it a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
I'm down with it. I'm totally down with it. What we'd have to do is we'd have to coordinate it where we send it at the exact same time. And then we would receive it at the exact same time.
Yes. So Marvin,
Yes.
I'm giving you the floor. Promote yourself, social media, anything.
Follow me, guys, on TikTok. You guys will find me, Comedian Marvin Howard on TikTok. I am also Comedian Marvin Howard on Instagram. On Twitter, I'm also Comedian Marvin Howard, I believe. Am I? Yeah. Or Mr. Marvin Howard. I can't remember which one, but it's not hard to find me. Yeah, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. That's where I'll be. I will be formatting my show of my YouTube channel. I'm gonna have to sit down with like somebody like Martin and somebody like, some other friends to see what exactly I really want to do with my channel. So I want to do something different than what everybody else is doing. So that's why I don't promote my YouTube channel yet. But once I do, get ready, y'all. But everything else, you can find me on there.
Yeah, I actually was wondering whether I should, because I was always set on making vlogs like David Dobrik. I was all set on doing that kind of stuff. And I was like, wait, I'm interviewing all these amazing people, like people that I could have dreamed of talking to. Why not make that a YouTube channel? And
Absolutely.
And then once I started doing it, like people were saying like, oh, you should interview this person, you should interview this person. Or even like just saying like, holy crap, you know this person, you have spoken to this person. Like I've talked to people that were on America's Got Talent. I've talked to people that are magicians from Ireland, voice impressions, guys that have worked with like heaps of like famous people. And yeah, again, honestly, I think I had the best job ever. So putting it up there.
Exactly. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So what advice, while we munch on our snacks together, what advice would you give a young aspiring comedian that's wanting to get out on the scene?
First off, don't ever let anything deter you from what you want to do. Take whatever advice that you're given, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, keep all of it. Because sometimes a negative can turn into a positive. We know this to be true. I would, just keep practicing. I would just keep working this, material. I would not worry about new material. If you have a set act, work that set act. Because what happens is, let's say you have like a good 20-minute act. You can stretch that into a 30-minute act. You can stretch that easy. Especially if you have the crowd going with the, whatever the first joke that's coming out, that the first few jokes that are coming out of your mouth. Well, I wouldn't worry about the first one. I wouldn't worry about the second one. But the third one, I'd stretch it out, because you got them.
Mm-hmm.
They're feeling you. Stretch that out and do the same thing over and over again within your act. Incorporate your audience into your act, as opposed to roasting them. I don't give any advice on people that roast their audience. I really don't, because it's basically you're inviting them to roast you. I mean, once you start roasting your audience, you're known for that. Then they start coming, because that's when, as you young people say, I'm coming for you. They're coming at you. So I don't do that. But I will somehow, some way incorporate my audience to either whether they come on stage or I have a conversation with them or something to that point to be able to bring them in. Always bring your audience. Never keep them out. Don't sound so robotic. Don't sound so mechanical. Your personality, your person. If they love you for your personality, then love them back with your personality. I believe that. Yeah.
So speaking about that, how do you react when people interrupt your set? Like, I've had people that go, like, oh, I've heard that joke before. How do you react to someone that interrupts your show?
First time around, I really try to, I don't pinpoint anybody the very first time they open their mouth. Mm. It's the continuation. It's the continual, ribbing or what do you call the audience? Heckling. It's the continuously heckling. That's when I actually will turn around and, put the focus on you. But you have to remember, first off, I'm a loud guy, period. Second, I'm a loud guy with a microphone. So once you've gotten into your frame of mind, you're going to realize that you're always going to drown that person out. But for somebody to say, I heard that joke before. Yeah. Because I was at your mom's place when I said it. So, you have to be quick with it. You have to be quick with it. Why are you interrupting my set? Do I knock the burgers out of your hand when you're trying to put them in the bag? It has to be so, back and forth quick with it. I'm gonna give you an example, which it's not even comedy. It's not even stand-up. This is TikTok. This was during the time, right? Pandemic, and then George Floyd being murdered by the cops. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of, if everybody was on quarantine, so the idea of, this Black man being murdered was so prolific around the world. I've never seen anything like this, before, honestly, to hear the solidarity of many people around the world that protested. having said that though, but you had people on TikTok who just, they want to get a rise out of you because you're Black. I don't know. Some kid said something and he used a word that was not the phonetic or it was not the right word to use in his sentence. And I think it was weather. I think he spelled it, weather, like the weather outside, as opposed to saying weather. And I said, it's whether or not. I said, don't you have something better to do, like freak out over the black hole in the Fortnite game or something? It was something, Martin, I literally, when I would, hit the 3, 2, 1, and it just goes, I don't know what I'm going to say. Sometimes I'll do a couple of them, but most of the time I do one takes. I really do. I'm a one take person. And I did this in one take to respond to this kid, and I sent it. I did not know that people thought that was the most funniest thing that they'd ever seen. I didn't think it was funny. I really wasn't trying to be funny. I was really just like, hey kid, don't you have like a Fortnite freak out with a black hole? Don't you have something to worry more about that than the, and these kids were like, oh my God, he roasted you. He got you. It went everywhere. It went everywhere. I saw myself on YouTube. I saw myself on Instagram somewhere with somebody, So, but that's the best thing. That's a little bit more of a situation for somebody like a young comedian like yourself. And that's another point that I want to definitely give advice to you about. Don't rely on social media to be your stand-up crowd. If you are a true stand-up comedian, that means you're doing open mics. That means you're doing shows. People are hiring you. You're going from, New Zealand to Iceland to UK, or whatever, wherever they're sending you, that's where you're doing your comedy. There's a difference between us being true comedians and Instagram comedians. They're not comedians. If they're not getting on stage and touring, they're not comedians.
No. Like, as you were talking about, like when I was doing the trying different foods, I came across Mike and Ike's. I was like, oh, Mike and Ike, double teaming there, aren't you?
Mike and Ike.
Yeah, and people were thinking, holy crap, that's actually really funny. And what started it, me and my dad, we would go for drives just willy-nilly, and we would make jokes about things that we see. Like, I don't know, like, is there an off switch to your mouth? Or like the remote or something.
Right.
Like I was walking around, I was like, why are people covering a mask? It's not covering their insecurities or anything. Like, stuff like that. And people started finding that funny. And then I started incorporating it. And then I realized that I need to focus more on making people laugh than worrying about whether I think it's funny.
Yeah.
So,
well, I know what, I'm going to disagree. I, to a certain degree. I feel if it, yes, our jobs are to make people laugh, to entertain the masses. But you're never going to be able to entertain those masses unless you think yourself is funny. If you don't think it's funny, there's no sense of you being in this business. You can't, we don't believe in happenstance. We don't believe in luck. We know that we have a God-given talent, and we're going to get on stage and we're going to give you the best produced show. My philosophy has always been, in fact, I have a friend of mine who's actually working out my my webpage. That we're talking about it, but right now we're in the talks. But she said that we were talking, and she said, "What kind of words do you live by?" I said, "One of the main ones I live by is I'm the funniest person I know." And she's like, yo, I like that. I like how you just put that. I'm the funniest person I know. I'm funny to me. So if you hear me laugh, like you hear some people that, that I've heard the roasting in the past, like, why do you laugh after everything you say? Because I'm funny. I'm funny. If you didn't think it was funny, that's your loss. That's not mine. I'm funny to me. So, yeah, I would make sure that you incorporate the fact that if you believe in your heart that you are funny, then you have no problem entertaining the masses.
Couldn't have said better myself.
Hey.
All right, Marvin, are you ready to make do you want to make a TikTok with me?
I love making TikTok with you.
All right, so have you seen any of my videos?
I've seen a couple. I have seen a couple. I have not gone through your whole page, no.
Okay, so do you know my catchphrase?
No, I do not. What is your catchphrase?
Okay, so it goes, hello TikTok, it's your boy or man-child.
Okay.
Because I'm a man-child. Like,
you are a
even when
man-child.
I'm like 60 years old, I'm still going to be an idiot. So yeah, I'll just do my my catchphrase, flip the camera over to you, and you can say whatever you want. Well,
okay.
Anything that TikTok allows, because guidelines right now are doing the best.
You're doing the best that you can. There you go. Okay.
Hello, TikTok. It's your boy or man-child. Anyway, so I'm currently on an interview with a comedian or a fellow comedian. He's verified and he's got 1 million followers and we're friends. Guess who it is? Camera. 3, 2, 1. Hey!
Hey, Comedian Marvin Howard here. What's happening? What's happening, TikTok? Yeah, I'm gonna act like I'm new, like y'all ain't never seen me before, but y'all seen me. Y'all know me.
Marvin, if you could say anything to your amazing followers, what would it be?
Guys, I love you guys very much. There's nothing I would not do for you. I love to make you all laugh. I love to entertain you guys. I love the fact that I have made you all forget whatever problems that were going on in your life, that you're able to come see me and I make you forget about it for 15 seconds at a time. And for that, I love you.
Awesome. All right, well, Marvin, thank you so much for taking your time. Actually, what time is it for you?
I just messed myself up. Hold on. Oh, let me see. 5:32 a.m.
It is 11:32 p.m.
We actually went longer than what your regular formatted show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't your regular formatted show like a half hour, you said?
Yeah, about that.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
That's awesome. All right, well, hopefully, if he comes to New Zealand, let me know. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do this again sometime. Who knows? Maybe we can even do like a virtual comedy show for each other or something. So
listen, I'm at a point, man, where the sky's the limit. I have no more hangups. I would actually be looking up to see about New Zealand and seeing whether or not they have some comedy shows and whether or not they would love to have a guy from the States come in and rock the house.
Yep. But yeah, don't be a stranger, stay in touch, and who knows, maybe we'll be able to meet each other in person or we'll cross paths while we're auditioning for something and I win it.
I think so. Leah, let me know when you come to the States.
Yes, I will do.
All righty.
All right, catch you later, Marvin.
And I loved you in when you were a kid, when you were in that movie with Bruce Willis, when you said, I see dead people.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's done. Everyone knows now.
I had to do it.
Right,
I had to do it.
All right. Thank you so much, Marvin. Have a great rest of your morning.
Yes. You as well. You have a great night. And yeah, man, keep doing what you do.
You too, man. Catch
All
you
right, my
later.
friend. Peace.